Okay, quick update on the free Craftsman. I got the parts in for this machine last night that I was waiting on. I was waiting on a couple exhaust pipes to go from the new engine down to the factory muffler. Yes, I'm actually using the factory muffler on this machine. I'll lift the hood up for you. As you can see down there is the factory muffler, and it has two new used exhaust pipes going from the engine down to the muffler. Just a quick tip on this: leave everything loose while you're putting it in. It definitely does help, especially if you're doing this, actually even if you do this with the engine out, leave the pipes loose. So you do kind of have to tighten them up once they're in the machine. It just helps you get everything lined up, and then they fall into place right where they need to go. I've learned that on the last conversion I did, and I'm just passing that knowledge on to the next guy who, if you're ever doing this conversion for yourself. You can get up underneath there with a socket and a wrench. I believe they're 1/2 inch, so you can get in there. Also, once you've run this machine for a couple minutes, you do want to come back in and tighten up those bolts, make sure everything is nice and tight, because with the heat it will expand the aluminum. So you do definitely want to make sure everything's nice and tight. Also, make sure your exhaust gaskets are in decent condition. Luckily, these pipes actually came with relatively new exhaust gaskets on them, so I ended up using them. I will fire this up for you. To be honest, it's not a cold start. I did just have it running. I kind of screwed up on the first take of the video, and I figured didn't really want to edit it out. Also, another side note, this machine did not originally have a backfire prevention solenoid, the actual tractor, but the wiring harness was wired to actually have the backfire prevention solenoid. Just shows that these machines are pre-wired to have multiple different engines in them. They didn't necessarily come with these Briggs & Stratton engines, the V-twin. They'd come more with the Kohlers, but they are pre-wired because a lot of the single cylinder Kohlers do use a backfire prevention solenoid. Choke. Few things still need to be adjusted a little bit. Like I couldn't do it before because how loud this machine was. Also didn't want to cause any damage to the engine or melt the paint off the frame. The smoke you saw is from the muffler. It's not from the engine. This engine was not tipped up at all for the entire process of transplanting it from the Murray. It's from the old engine. Like I said, this is the original muffler, so that's why I'm getting a little bit of smoke. But there might still be a little bit of change of plans when it comes to possibly this machine and the Murray, or maybe just the Murray. More on that later. I've kind of given a bit of a sneak peek in a last video as well. I'm working on potentially trying to put a twin back in the Murray. Really, that engine is a bit too small for that machine. I'll have to wait and see. But anyways, got to finish tightening up everything on this, put the heat shields back on. All the factory heat shields should fit. Now I got to put the seat back on. This thing does still need a deck service, but it does not need an oil change. The oil's good. So other than that, we are good. And stay tuned for more on this machine. So I'll talk to them later. Please keep it redneck like always, and please subscribe and comment.